Dr. Dan has a new book explaining how all of us need to be like a camel. It's called Camel Resilience, Dr. Dan's Guide to Turning Surviving into Thriving. Get it on Amazon now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Dan and Daily. I'm John Daly, and he is Dr. Dan O'Brien, MD, MBA, and now an author. So, Dan, congrats on the new book.
Hey, thanks, John. Just trying to keep up with you. Super excited by this book. What we've been through, I think, the past year with COVID, what we've been through with resilience is certainly impactful, and excited to share my book with everybody.
Yeah, I agree. So explain how the camel is a motif for all of us getting through and surviving or thriving after COVID.
Absolutely. Well, the camel is a really extraordinary animal, John. An animal that kind of, as you look back, is always, difficulty surviving out there in the wilderness and going through long periods of time without food or water. And I really kind of associated that with where we were at during COVID, with the fact that people had to really overcome resilience in many different facets in their home life, in their work life, even John, being a huge sports fan, as we look at franchises, how to really adapt and be resilient. This concept of being able to adapt is really crucial right now. What we've seen in regards to COVID, what employees have been through, what family life has been through is certainly crucial. And again, I'm super excited to be able to share this book with the entire world, where we're at right now, continuing to be resilient, be like the camel. It's a fun time.
So there are things that you're suggesting that people do or start thinking about so that they can be more adaptable. Talk about those.
Right. I think some of the things that you can do, again, to be more adaptable, John, this is really crucial, is the fact that having this resilience attitude, really being open-minded to creativity. What we learned right now in healthcare was the fact that innovation, right, as we look at this new era of innovation, particularly with healthcare technology, as I look at some of my fellow, physicians out there looking at telemedicine, looking at CRISPR technology, being able to adapt to really solid technology is something that really kind of stood out to me in the book. Another thing, John, that stood out, being a huge sports fan, is ways that these sports franchises were able to adapt, right? They were resilient. They wanted to bring back the fans. They wanted to have this public health impact. They wanted to say, we know that sports is such a great unifier, and being able to adapt with that, being like the camel, being resilient, was something that really stood out to me. And I wanted to write about it. I felt that was really important to share with not only this country, but the world, that being resilient is just so powerful, and the difference and the positive outcome that it can make.
So, and a lot of stuff, of course, you've talked about here about adapting. And for those of us who have survived and gotten through it, obviously we've done that. Talk about the changes, though, that are coming up that you see in public health that are camel-like.
Right. Camel-like in regards, it's funny you mention that, because right now people have been resilient, right? They've gone around, they've worn their mask. Some people get kind of frustrated as you walk into your Starbucks, having to kind of maybe have your mask on, put it back down and take a sip. So people have been very resilient right now in regards to this country, where we're at with COVID. They've had to adapt from a public health standpoint with all the public health measures, wearing a mask, social distancing, sometimes not even talking to loved ones. People that I know in my inner circle that, boy, you haven't seen loved ones in a while, or grandparents. And I've talked to so many of my colleagues like that too. So I think what we've seen, I'm so proud of the individuals out there that they've adapted. They're being like the camel, not only in their home life, but also in a public health and a corporation aspect too.
Again, the book is Camel Resilience, Dr. Dan's Guide for Turning Surviving into Thriving. For more on Dr. Dan and his book, go to drdanmd.com, and also on LinkedIn at drdanmd MBA. Dan, thanks and congratulations.
Hey, thanks, John. Super excited by it.